Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, August 18th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Monday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, the best catcher in baseball, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And on the right, Philadelphia Phillies superstar, Bryce Harper. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. Batting fifth, playing first base, Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, DHing today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, second baseman, Cole Young. On the mound for the Mariners with a 3-4 record, an ERA of 3.31. It is Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. And now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off for the Phillies at shortstop, Trea Turner. Batting second, DHing for Philadelphia, Kyle Schwarber. Batting third, playing first base, Bryce Harper. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for Philadelphia, J.T. Realmuto. Batting fifth, playing third base, Alec Bohm. Batting sixth, playing center field, Brandon Marsh. Batting seventh, playing right field, Nick Castellanos. And batting eighth, playing left field, Max Kepler. Batting ninth, playing second base, Bryson Stott. And on the mound for the Phillies with an 8-6 record, an ERA of 3.28, it is Ranger Suarez. Trident's up. Let's go M's. We'll be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on the donos, and somewhere in that 20 to 50 sub count range. Cody in the building. What's good? Daniel in the building. What's good? All day in the building. What's good? And, I know for some of the hardcore Seattle Mariner fans ended up seeing that highlight last night where Victor Robles ended up throwing the bat, at the pitcher. And again, there has been some history with that individual that ended up hitting Victor when they were both in MLB on separate teams. But, when you get hit 5 times out of 15 at-bats when you're trying to rehab and come back, obviously that'll be something that is very concerning. And again, if you get hit that many times, at some point, you're going to blow up. And again, at normal circumstances, you're obviously not supposed to, throw the bat, back at the pitcher. But when you get hit right square in the chest and you've already got hit 4 times within the last couple days, at some point enough is enough. And, hopefully they'll call up Victor Robles, there may be, some type of suspension that he ends up getting, but you have to look at the circumstances. Victor is one of those guys that, isn't a dirty player. He's not a guy that wants to fight, but everyone has a breaking point. And if you go back and look at, some of the history, based on how often he was getting hit, it's a little ridiculous. He did have a statement that he had, that he came out with, but Robles was hit by the pitch by the A's twice on September 5th. One was by Joey Estes. And then Robles was hit by a pitch on August 12th by Joey Estes. And then Victor Robles hit by a pitch on August 17th by Joey Estes. So Joey and Victor have some kind of rivalry, and it's not really on Victor's end. It's on his end. So, if you're getting hit that often, at some point you are going to blow up. But based on what he decided to write, he said, I want to take a moment to sincerely apologize for my recent reaction on the field. I let my frustration get the best of me. I understand how that may have affected not just the game, but the energy and respect that we all work so hard to maintain. And then he had a few more paragraphs there apologizing. But again, when you do get hit 5 times in 15 at-bats, that's a little ridiculous. And we know that we've had guys like Ty France and Randy Arozarena, that, get plunked pretty often. But when you get a pitcher that is like headhunting and actually looking for someone to try to injure them, at some point, if someone's going to be throwing at your head or your chest, you're going to have a reaction at some point. And obviously getting hit 5 times in 15 at-bats, that was the last straw. So we'll have to monitor, Victor Robles in that situation. But hopefully we'll be able to get him called up sooner than later. So that way he doesn't continuously get, potentially injured out there in AAA. And I know some people have seen the footage and others have not, but, it's on social media and whatnot. And I'm just hoping that Victor will be healthy. The last thing that we need is for someone to try to injure him in AAA to make it longer for him to come back to the Mariners. First pitch from Ranger Suarez to Randy Arozarena. Takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. Yeah, and when Randy got hit in the head on the first pitch, obviously it's the Little League Classic. You don't want to fight, in front of the kids. But I imagine Randy was probably, thinking, man, this is, if it was anywhere but here, maybe there would have been a little bit of a conversation at the very least, a little chatter back and forth, and it's kind of alarming when you see people that are headhunting or trying to injure the guys in the box. 0-1 pitch, fouled off high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ranger Suarez to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. 1-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Global broadcast here on MLB Network. A rough few series, with us lately. And again, with the Orioles winning 1 out of 3, the Mets 1 out of 3, the Phillies are better than both of those teams. So, we got to try to win game 1 so that way we can try to win 2 out of 3. If we lose tonight, we're probably only going to win 1 out of 3. And at some point, if we want to catch the Astros, we need to start winning 2 out of 3 and then getting an occasional, once in a while, a sweep if possible. But you're not sweeping the Philadelphia Phillies. 1-2 pitch in play, and Arozarena fouled out in foul territory towards first base. Bryce Harper is there, and that is 1 away. Next up is catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 47 home runs, 102 ribbies, and we're looking to see if he can end up tying the record, Salvador Perez, with home run number 48. If he hits 2 today, he's got the all-time record. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, fouls it off high and inside, 0-1 count. Suarez on the mound and Cal Raleigh in the box. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Sorry, I had to step away there. Dog got loose outside there. Next up is Julio Rodriguez as Cal is out for out number 2. Next up is J-Rod. First pitch low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Suarez on the mound. Julio in the box. One pitch by Julio Rodriguez and crushes it all the way back to the wall, and that is a stand-up double for Julio Rodriguez. Nice job by J-Rod, and obviously we're going to need a lot of support from not only Cal and Julio, but of the rest of the squad. Nice job, J-Rod. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. First pitch from Suarez to Suarez. Big swing and a miss, high and inside, 0-1 count. And we know Gino has homered recently and been able to get a single here and there, but we're going to definitely need the production this afternoon. A 1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Gino and Eugenio Suarez. Come on, Gino. Go-to pitch, low and away with the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Suarez to Suarez. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Phillies. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Come on, Gino. Trident's up. We need you. Two-two pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Suarez on the mound. Suarez in the box. That's the first time you're going to see a Suarez to Suarez all season. Let's go, Gino. Good vibes only. See if we can get a single to keep this rally going. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off, high and inside. Count still is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. 0-0 here early between the Phillies and the Mariners. Let them know. We'll be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and obviously 20 to 50 subs on the sub count. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. 3-2 pitch, and Suarez flies out to second. Great diving catch out there by the Phillies and Bryson Stott, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off for the Phillies is shortstop Trea Turner. Batting second, DHing in the 2-hole, Kyle Schwarber. And batting third, first baseman Bryce Harper. On the mound for the Mariners with a 3-4 record and ERA of 3.31, it is Logan Gilbert. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch from Gilbert to Turner, high and inside with a four-seam fastball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, and Turner flies out to right field to Dominic Canzone. He is there, and that is 1 away. Next up for Logan Gilbert, in the 2-hole, DHing Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber and Cal tied for first place with 102 ribbies apiece. And I imagine both will have pretty productive series, obviously not only in this series, but moving forward for the rest of the year. First pitch is high and away, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, and Schwarber singles to right. Nice hit there by Kyle. And obviously with Turner, Schwarber, and Harper, that's one of the best 1-2-3s that you're going to see, at least based off name recognition. There's others that have been able to put up some better stats, but that's a pretty deadly start for a lineup for Turner, Schwarber, and now Bryce Harper. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0, Mariners and Phillies. Global broadcast on MLB Network. Bryce Harper in the box, Logan Gilbert on the mound. 25 more to get to that halfway point. Let's get it, baby. First pitch to Bryce Harper, and another single to right. All three batters that start off the game are hitting it in the exact same spot, right in front of Dominic Canzone. Trea Turner ended up popping out, but back-to-back hits in the same spot by Schwarber and Bryce Harper on Logan Gilbert. Now you got runners at first and second and 1 out. Next up is the cleanup hitter, catcher, JT Realmuto. Hopefully we can get a double play. Slow dribbler up to JP, toe tap on the bag, and a throw to Naylor to get out of this inning, because you don't want to get down by 1, 2, or 3 early. We don't really know, what's going to happen with the bullpen decision by Dan Wilson and company. So we're going to have to try to get off to a fast start. We're going to have to hit a couple home runs, and we definitely need our starting pitching to give up 3 runs or less if we're going to have any chance to win 2 out of 3. Otherwise, we're going to only win 1 if we play bad, obviously, on any category, starting pitching, bullpen, or hitting. We could get swept. There's no chance of the Mariners sweeping the Phillies on the road, considering our road record this year. But I'm hoping that we can find a way to win game 1 so we can win 2 out of 3, but it'll be tough. Phillies are very good. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the splitter by Gilbert. 83 miles an hour, 1 ball and 2 strikes to JT Realmuto. One-two pitch, low and away with the splitter, 81 miles an hour by Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Logan Gilbert on the mound, JT Realmuto in the box. Let's go, Logan. And again, I wouldn't expect a whole lot of Ks. For every pitcher, it's normally around that 4 to 7 range. You don't see guys get 10, 12 Ks consistently that often anymore. Even guys like Scooball and Skeens aren't going to get 10 Ks every outing. So, hopefully, we can end up going towards the higher number, closer to 7. But if it ends up being, under that number, hopefully we get a lot of cheap pop-up and ground outs. Otherwise, this is going to be a long day. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is low and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JT Realmuto. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. Count still now is 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Realmuto. Come on, Logan. Can't give up the big RBI or the big home run early. We want to actually feel we have a chance. And Logan's record would be much better than it is if he didn't get hurt for the first half of the season. It's been a pretty tough year for injuries for us, starting off with, Ryan Bliss, Victor Robles, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Luke Raley, and sounds like we're going to be getting Bryce Miller possibly tomorrow. So, again, that'll be exciting. And then with the whole Victor Robles situation in AAA, getting hit by Joey Estes and obviously being, beaned 5 times and 15 at-bats, we're trying to get Victor Robles up. We don't want him to get hurt while he's trying to rehab. And, that's definitely an issue that we need to monitor. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count still as 3 balls and 2 strikes to JT Realmuto. 3-2 pitch, fouled off again. JT is really grinding out this at-bat. That's 3 foul balls in a row, all sliders, all similar location, all sitting around 88, 89, 90 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. May need to switch up that pitch. Got 88 subs to go to get to 21,600. Ended up having a good sub day yesterday. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a huge out there for Logan Gilbert, my boy. And I don't expect him to get 10 Ks, or really any pitcher to get 10 Ks in the series against the Phillies, but that was a big one right there with runners at first and second, Schwarber and Harper. There we go, 2 away. Next up in the 5-hole, third baseman Alec Bohm. First pitch from Gilbert to Bohm. Low and away with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1-0 count. Huge KAR. We already know how it's been so rough for us, with the last few series. We definitely expected to win 2 out of 3. Against the Orioles, we were hoping for 2 out of 3 out of the Mets, but obviously with rain delays, 2 of them with Baltimore and then 1 yesterday, 3 in like a week. We're now 0-6 in rain delays, and hopefully we don't have a rain delay the rest of the season. It just, isn't in the cards for us, at least this year. 1-0 pitch, fouled off high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Bohm. But again, the key for the Mariners to be able to win, 2 out of 3 is obviously winning game 1, but we have to hit homers. That's just plain and simple. We have to strike early and get on the board within the first 5 innings. If we can get 1 to 3 runs within the first 5 innings, that'll give us a good chance to keep pace depending on what they do on the other end. And a nice little force out there on Bryce Harper with the slow dribbler by Bohm, and we get out of the jam. Thank God. Because lately it's been like, okay, a guy gets a single, oh, big RBI, 2 guys score, next guy up, oh, big home run, and then all of a sudden you're looking at the scoreboard and you're down 3-0, and you don't really lose hope. You know that you can come back, but it's just not an ideal start when you actually have good, pitching based off the name recognition. But just because, the Mariner pitchers were so good the last few years, you have to understand a lot of these guys have been banged up, and they're just trying to get back to their normal selves, and hopefully we'll be able to not have any more serious injuries, not only with the pitching staff, but for the rest of the team moving forward. End of the first inning, 0-0, Mariners and Phillies. Nice job by Logan Gilbert getting out of that jam. Bay. See who's up next here for Seattle in the top of the second. All right, we're at 30 likes, 20 more to get to that halfway point, baby. Let's go. Next up in the 5-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. And Naylor has been under the weather for the last few days. He ended up, missing a game, a few days back. And obviously there's been, colds and flus and like COVID that has been going around, even though they're not really labeling it that. And so it feels like Naylor really hasn't been the same player since he missed the game being under the weather. He hasn't really had the same type of impact with the bat as well as stealing bags and defensively. So hopefully this will be the breakout game where Naylor starts feeling like himself because we're going to need him. Again, the offense flows so much better when Naylor is dominant. First pitch from Suarez to Naylor. Makes a strike looking low and at the knees, 0-1 count. Naylor in the box, Ranger Suarez on the mound. And I watch everything on single A, high A, double A, triple A, Japan, everything in the MLB. So, right when that Robles situation happened, I already saw it live. And Lots of people hit me up, thinking, my thoughts on it and whatnot. But again, you have to look at the context of everything. 0-1 pitch, and Naylor crushes it into left, but it stays in play, and that is one away. But you got to think, if anybody, regardless if they're a hothead or if they're kind of laid back like Victor, if you are rehabbing and just trying to get back to the Mariners and you get hit 5 times and 15 at-bats, I mean, we know Ty France got plunked a lot when he was on the team, and Randy is the guy that gets plunked the most. Hell, he got hit on the head in the first pitch in that Little League Classic yesterday, right? But again, when you have someone head hunting and trying to injure you, that I don't think Robles has bad blood with Estes, but apparently Estes does, an athletic pitcher that's now in AAA. But whatever it is that he has against Victor, I mean, hit him right in the chest. And again, I don't blame him. I think that a lot of people would have done the same exact thing or even worse. So 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ranger Suarez to Mitch Garver. We don't know. We know that Bryce is going to be coming back either tomorrow or Wednesday to make a start. But Victor still had a few weeks to go. But if they're going to continue to try to injure him, they may call him up a little bit sooner just so that he's on the team and, doesn't get, beamed and someone trying to target him. And down goes Garver on a big swing and a miss, 2 away. But it sounds like Bryce will be back within a day or two. Robles was supposed to be back at the end of the month. But, obviously if he ends up coming up, there may be a suspension based on, getting hit in the chest and throwing the bat back at the pitcher or in the area of the pitcher. And usually when something like that happens, you get suspended for a few games, but they haven't really mentioned anything if there's going to be a suspension at this point. First pitch from Suarez to Dominic Canzone. Takes the strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Suarez on the mound. Dominic Canzone in the box. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away with the curveball by Ranger Suarez, who's a stud. 8-6 record with a ERA of 3.28. Phillies got a lot of good pitchers. Obviously, a few of them have recently got a little banged up. And you obviously know guys like Zach Wheeler. I mean, the Phillies got some dominant pitching, obviously, this season, and it's not going to be easy to beat them. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Suarez to Canzone. 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. Down goes Dom on strikes. Bottom of the second inning incoming here for the Philadelphia Phillies. And let's see who's up next for Philadelphia. 2 hits for the Phillies, 1 for the Mariners, and hopefully we'll be able to get some rhythm going in this particular series, even though this is going to be one of the toughest series we've had in a minute. But at least we know we're going to bring our A game. We're going to be playing up to the competition, not playing down, and usually that ends up being a better situation for us. Next up for the Phillies, in the 6-hole center fielder, look at that beard, the best beard in baseball, Brandon Marsh. Batting second, right fielder Nick Castellanos. And batting third in the 8-hole, left fielder Max Kepler. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, there's 0% chance of a sweep. They're just too good. And we don't have a very good road record. The only team that's got a good road record, is the Milwaukee Brewers, which is usually around 9, 10, 11 games above. Everybody else is only a couple games above 500, at 500, or below 500 on the road. So, if we win game 1 today, we'll have a chance to win 2 out of 3. If we lose today, realistically, we're probably going to only win 1 game out of 3. And there is a chance that if there was a sweep, it wouldn't be us sweeping the Phillies. It would be the Phillies sweeping us. But hopefully the home runs, will be there. Hopefully the pitching will be there. And hopefully the bullpen will be strong. So that way we can win 2 out of 3. Because, again, winning only 1 out of 3 with 2 rain delays against the Orioles, and then only winning 1 out of 3 versus the Mets and having another rain delay in the Little League Classic, we're 0 for 6 in rain delays. So not good. 0 for 5 or 0 for 6 when a pitcher makes his MLB debut, which is kind of wild when you get someone that's brand new to the game and they beat the Mariners, but then we've beaten guys like Scuball and Skeens, but we can't beat someone that had an MLB debut like we saw obviously with the Mets. So there's certain things that we can do well, But there are certain things that we haven't figured out yet. We can't win with a rain delay. We can't win with Logan Evans pitching on the road. And obviously we can't win when someone has an MLB debut against the Mariners, at least at this point. But, hopefully Logan Evans is on the IL, so we don't have to worry about him. And Bryce Miller will be taking that spot. First pitch from Gilbert to Marsh. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. So it's really crucial that we get game one. Otherwise, this is going to get ugly. Oh, 1 pitch and a nice single to right. And that's kind of been the theme here for all of the Phillies hitters. All of them are hitting it towards Dominic Canzone. Next up is Nick Castellanos. Yeah, and I don't think that we would get swept. We got too good of a team, to get swept. But, if you had to think of, both options, Mariners getting swept or the Phillies getting swept, more than likely the Mariners would be the team based on how we've been playing lately. We just haven't been in a groove. Naylor's been sick. He hasn't really been the same, active piece offensively and defensively. But, again, I think that we can win one for sure. But if we win today, that we have a good chance of winning 2 out of 3. And we definitely need it to make up for what happened with the Orioles and the Mets in the previous 2 series with those rain delays. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Castellanos. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train, and we'll be shooting for 15 to 20 subs here today. 1-1 pitch, and Castellanos with another hit. Wow. They are just raking Logan Gilbert. It really doesn't matter who it is. Everyone is hitting, and that is a problem, especially when Logan is supposed to be one of the better pitchers. But again, our starting pitching has been a little suspect lately. Next up, in the 8-hole left fielder, Max Kepler. Now we got runners at first and third with no outs, and more than likely, unless we get a strikeout and a double play or a double play and a strikeout, this is going to be the inning where the Phillies score 1 to 3 runs if we're not careful. Yeah. But also the Mets were in a big slump as well, right? And they were able to beat us. So, they ended up losing 10 out of the last 11, and that didn't worry them. They didn't bother them. So I don't think, even if the Phillies, were playing not at the best level, obviously, got a win yesterday, obviously against the Nats, but, we'll see how it goes. If we were at home against the Phillies, I would feel a little bit better, but we just got to make sure that if we let guys on base, they don't come home. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Max Kepler. One pitch, and just like I said, single right up the middle, and there it is. Kepler with the RBI. Marsh scored, and just like that, 1-0 Philadelphia. And again, we know Brian Wu is our ace this year. Normally it is Logan Gilbert, but again, if Logan is getting torched like this, what's going to happen with our bullpen? If we're down and they throw in Carlos Vargas or Jackson Kowar or Casey Legumina, not ideal. It's like we need to be ahead or at least tied, so that way we can actually have a chance for Brash, Bizzardo, Gabe Spire, and Mooney. And if we're down in every game, we're not going to see those guys, and that's frustrating. Next up, 9-hole hitter, second baseman Bryson Stott. First pitch from Gilbert to Stott, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Stott. And it's kind of one of those things with the Mariners, if you actually are a, regular watcher of them, it's like impossible for us to be good in 3 categories at the same time. Starting pitching, bullpen, and hitting. It's like always, it's only like 1 out of 3. We might get lucky in a game where we have 2 out of 3, but it's almost never 3 out of 3 where you see the starting pitching great, the bullpen great, hitting great with home runs and RBIs. It's very difficult to get all 3 of those for us lately. Are we capable of it? For sure, but it's just been a little bit of a struggle as of late. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bryson Stott. 2-1 pitch and another single. Golly, Gilbert is terrible today. Big double to right. Castellanos scores, Kepler to third, and just like that, 2-0 Philadelphia. My ESP is pretty good. Again, I watch this team on regular. I can tell body language. I can go through the pitches and the location of where things are going, and Logan has definitely not got it here today. Yeah, pitching has not been good, but again, we've had injuries, and that's a big part of it. Logan Gilbert missed half of the first half of the season. George Kirby missed the first 50-plus games. First 3 starts were terrible, and Bryce Miller played with an injury and then has missed the last few months and is now coming back within a day or two, but we don't know if he's going to be the good Bryce Miller or if he's going to have an ERA of 5, 6, or 7. So we're a much better hitting team this year, but obviously starting pitching hasn't been, as good, obviously. And then the bullpen is very streaky. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's really terrible. And we already got a mound visit by Woodworth, and it's not like we got Mitch Garver catching. Cal is trying to get him going. But again, this is a hard place to play. Anytime you go on the road, to any of the teams in the National League, whether it's the Phillies or the Mets or the Cubs or the Brewers or the Dodgers or the Padres, that shit ain't easy. I mean, these teams are fucking good for a reason. We're just trying to throw our hat and join the party. First pitch from Gilbert to Turner, low and away, 1-0 count. Now we got runners at second and third with no outs, and we're already down 2. And again, if Gilbert keeps pitching like this, we're going to be down, 5-6-0, by the time we end up bringing someone else in. And, hopefully the bats will come alive, because that's really the only thing that's going to be able to save us, to try to match the production that they're getting with all of these singles. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Turner. Golly. Well, it's not an excuse. It's just reality. You have to understand, the Mariners have only had 4 good years out of 40, my guy. But you wouldn't know that because you're not a Mariner fan. We're not blessed, like the Dodgers or, a team like the Yankees to make the playoffs 10, 15 years in a row. We're not built like those other teams. This is the first good year we've had since 2022. And prior to that, the first year that we had since 2001. You come talk to me the next time your team misses the playoffs 20 years in a row and you still root for them every year, even though they're not making the postseason. I highly doubt that you've ever experienced anything like that. 3-1 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and no outs. We still are contenders, obviously, in the American League, just like the Astros, the Tigers, the Blue Jays, and I don't know if you really want to include the Yankees and the Red Sox. Obviously, they're in the mix. So, it's easy to talk shit when you're not in, the driver's seat, going through all of these things. A lot of teams, are able to go to the playoffs year in and year out. We're not there yet. This would be maybe the first year of, maybe a couple years in a row where we might be able to do it, but we're still, kind of figuring shit out. And injuries haven't really helped us as of late. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and no outs. Plus, we're going to come back home on Friday. We're going to play the Athletics, but again, they play us really, really well. So if we play down to the competition, it could be just as bad. And Turner, back, see ya. And just like that, the game might be over. 5-0 Philadelphia. Gilbert, this might be the worst start of the 2025 season that I've seen from him. Giving up 5 already here with no outs. You may have to pull him. Again, essentially we've already lost this game and we're only in the fucking second inning. Great job, Logan. Fuck, man. Next up is Kyle Schwarber. Nice job by Trea Turner with that big bomb. And again, all of these guys have the capabilities to get the job done. And there's a reason why the Phillies are one of the best teams in the National League and have been for the last few years. They're going to be right there with the Dodgers and the Padres, and obviously joining now maybe the Cubs and the Brewers as kind of the new guys on the block that are going to try to knock off the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Padres. But that's a pretty stacked, 5 teams in the National League. First pitch from Gilbert to Schwarber, high and away, 1-0 count. And if you're looking, based off those teams, it feels like the National League teams are better than the American. Like, we know that the Astros and Mariners are streaky, right? The Blue Jays and the Tigers are, the teams with the best record. But does anybody really believe that the Blue Jays and Tigers can go all the way? I don't even think their fan base thinks that they can. So they know that they're good, but they know that they're going to have to still battle with a few other teams like Houston, Seattle, and a few others. And we'll wait and see. But obviously with the Phillies and the Cubs and the Brewers and the Dodgers and the Padres, that's tough. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Schwarber. And we haven't had a game like this where we've been down by 5 or more within the first couple innings in quite some time. So not ideal, but I'm not shocked. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber. And it's not often where we have one of our aces that just plays terrible. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count still is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Schwarber. Yeah, I still feel that even though that, we ended up, winning only 1 against the Orioles with 2 rain delays, and then only winning 1 against the Mets with a rain delay in that Little League Classic yesterday, I still think we are, World Series contenders. But again, we got to play better. And again, it's like you're going to have peaks and valleys in baseball. It's not going to be, 6 months of elite baseball where you're scoring 6 runs or more for the whole year. No one does that. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count still is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber. But again, I wasn't expecting, a lot of wins in this particular series, but I wasn't expecting also Logan to shit the bed this early. Again, this might be the worst start that I've seen maybe ever, as far as the first couple innings. I mean, it's already 5-0 with no outs. Not ideal. I mean, especially when he's normally our number 1, but obviously with an injury this year, Wu is our 1, but already 7 hits and a big home run, and we're only in the 2nd inning. And finally, we get our first out of the game as Schwarber grounds out to second, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Next up for Logan Gilbert is Bryce Harper. And hell, they're going through the lineup so quickly. It's like, usually, if things are going normally, it might take you to like maybe the 3rd inning, until you get to that 9-hole hitter, or, maybe you're lucky enough to get a few guys on and you get it in the 2nd. But I mean, they're going through the order so quickly. It's like they're going to go through the order twice before we go through our order even once. That's not good. First pitch from Gilbert to Harper. Outside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, and Harper flies out to Julio, and that is 2 away. Down goes Bryce. And next up, cleanup hitter, catcher, JT Realmuto. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. I mean, really the only thing that's going to save us at this point is if we hit home runs and, hit, big ribbies like them, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Ranger Suarez is damn good. And then, I assume their bullpen will probably be better than ours as well. So might be a long night. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to JT Realmuto. But again, you have to understand, it's not like there's a bunch of teams in MLB that are great on the road. There's 1 team out of 30 that's good on the road this year, the Brewers. That's it. No one else is good on the road. Everyone else is only a couple games above 500, at 500 or below. So, I mean, yeah, we're losing, but a lot of teams lose on the road. And, I already went over those numbers earlier. And again, you're only going to have 1 team that has 9, 10, 11 games above 500, and that's the Brewers. Everyone else, not so much. 1-2 pitch, fouled off low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from JT Realmuto. But obviously, any Seattle Mariner fan doesn't want to be down by 5 this early, especially when we've already had struggles with hitting in our bullpen. The last thing that we need is the starting pitching to shit the bed. We need 2 out of the 3 categories to be good: starting pitching, bullpen, and hitting. And this game, we'll see, but it's still early. We can't say that the hitting isn't there because we're only in the second, but potentially it's looking like that might be the only thing that may be good today. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Gilbert on the mound, JT Realmuto in the box. And this is not something that we typically see out of Logan Gilbert, but also you have to give credit to the Philadelphia Phillies. They're a really good team, a very good team at home, a lot of good hitters, a lot of good home run hitters. And again, if your guy isn't on, it's going to be a long day, not just for Seattle, but for anybody that comes in. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JT Realmuto. So we'll have a chance to kind of get back on track starting on Friday when we play the Athletics. But the problem is if we play down to the competition, and not take the Athletics seriously based off their record, they could definitely beat us 2 out of 3 as well. So got to get refocused when we go back home. We have to try to get at least a win out of these 3 games. But, the only way we're going to win 2 is if we would have won this one. And it doesn't look like we're going to do that here today unless we have a miracle. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Realmuto. And Gilbert's pitch count is going to be through the fucking roof. Well, there's been a cold, flu, COVID kind of going around. So, and I know Naylor ended up, getting sick, and quite a few MLB players have been under the weather as of late. So, not to say that that's the only reason, but obviously Naylor hasn't been the same since he got sick. So, maybe still battling an illness. Bottom of the second inning, 5-0 Philadelphia. A very dominant Philadelphia Phillies team. Definitely a World Series contender. No doubt about that. 3-2 pitch. And look at that. Back. See ya. And this is definitely the worst game I've ever seen by Logan Gilbert. JT Realmuto homers the left, 404 feet. We're down 6-0. And again, our bullpen stinks. So it's not like we're going to bring in someone good. So now we just have to stick with Logan Gilbert for 4 or 5 innings? At that point, we might be down 10-0 or more. Brutal. Nice job by JT Realmuto with a big homer. And again, this will be a game that Logan Gilbert can't wait to forget. 10-pitch at-bat that turns into a home run. Golly, 6-0 Philadelphia. Next up is third baseman Alec Bohm. First pitch from Gilbert to Bohm, fouls it off high and inside, 0-1 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And we're looking for 5 to 20 subs. And every dono that I get today may have to go towards therapy because this team is killing me. Come on. First pitch, fouled off, 0-1 pitch. And in play, and Bohm with a single to center. I mean, obviously this guy can't even get a strikeout. He's giving up hits, RBIs, and home runs. I mean, when is enough? And I get it. Our bullpen obviously isn't going to be any better, but can it get any worse than this? Golly. But this is probably the worst outing out of any pitcher that I've seen in 2025 for Seattle. Out of anybody, this is probably the worst game that I've seen within the first 2 innings. Brutal. I mean, how many times are the Phillies going to go through their order before we go through ours once? And now they got Carlos Vargas warming up, but he's our worst pitcher on the team. This might be one of those games where the Phillies score like 20. I was not anticipating this. I mean, there's nothing you can say to him at this point. I mean, he just doesn't have it. I don't know if he's sick. I don't know if he's injured. You got to give credit to the Phillies, but 6 runs and 9 hits within the first fucking 2 innings is ridiculous. And it's not like Logan Gilbert is some fucking scrub like Carlos Vargas. I mean, the guy made an all-star game just recently, so it's not like, he's a shitty pitcher. Normally, he's one of the, top 25 pitchers in the game. And a few years ago, he was even a top 10 pitcher, but again, he was injured earlier in the year. And I'm not saying that that's the reason why we're getting blasted here early, but I have not seen this version of Logan Gilbert in a long time. First pitch to Marsh, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Marsh. And it shows you what happens to a team, that struggles with rain delays. I think mentally that really got to us. Back-to-back rain delays against the Orioles, a rain delay yesterday, and then obviously going against the World Series contender in the National League that's right there with the Cubs and the Brewers, the Dodgers and the Padres. And this is a very, very good team to say the least. 2-0 pitch, takes the strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Marsh. It's also schedule, though, again, depending on who you play and when you play them. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Marsh. But I still think we'll be able to, turn it around. Not this game, obviously, but, after, this series is over and we go back home, that should be the point where we start to regroup, on Friday. And now we just have to hope that we don't get swept. We can win at least one game. You're not winning today. I mean, it would take, a miracle on top of a miracle. 3-2 pitch, and coming here shortly. Bottom of the second inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. And luckily, we've only gotten blasted like this, maybe 5 to 10 times this year, out of over 100 games. So it's not like it's happening often, and it definitely stings, and it hurts when you get blasted this early. Any MLB fan will let you know. So, but he's already had 47 pitches, and we're in the second inning. So, but like I said, I've watched Gilbert in his whole career, and I've never seen him pitch this bad, ever. Bottom of the second inning, runner at first with 2 outs, 6-0 Philadelphia. 3-2 pitch, in play, and Marsh flies out to left. Thank God. Stop the bleeding already. And that was the longest first 2 innings of my life. Logan Gilbert with a face of disgust, and 6 runs and 9 hits within the first 2 innings. And then again, when you're down, we're not going to be bringing in Brash, Bizzardo, Gabe Spire or Munoz. So, we may not even see these guys all series if we keep playing like this. Brutal. Now we just got to hope that, for individual statistics, like Cal Raleigh, getting the home run number 48 and tying the record, or maybe getting 2 home runs and, breaking the record. Those are the type of things that you have to look forward to when you're down 6-0. And at this point, we need to try to chip away. But again, it's not like we're going against a shitty pitcher. We're going against Ranger Suarez, who's 8-6 with a 3.28 ERA, one of their top 3 pitchers on the team. And this is not going to be easy whatsoever. Suarez on the mound, leading off for the Mariners here in the top of the third, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second baseman in the 9-hole, Cole Young. And then back at the top of the order, left fielder, 0 for 1, Randy Arozarena. Right hands up, let's go M's. Donos for therapy today. For real. Luckily, we don't have to play the Phillies on a regular basis. Gained a sub. Appreciate all the new subs that we've acquired. We're at 41 likes, 9 more to get to the halfway point. Now we're at 42. So, I mean, again, if we're not going to end up winning, or competing. Now we just got to hope for, home runs for guys like Cal and Julio, just kind of boost their stat line. Because again, if you're going to be bringing in shitty guys in the pen that are going to be on that Gilbert level today or worse, the chance of Vargas pitching a gem is, against this, Philadelphia squad is probably slim to none. Would he be able to get a few outs here and there? Maybe, but, he definitely is the worst player on the team, not named Dylan Moore. So first pitch from Suarez to Crawford, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Definitely one of the longest innings of my life. Really the only thing that I guess that could be positive for us is that we don't have to face Zach Wheeler, one of the best pitchers in the game. He's on the 15-day IL. So we won't be seeing him, but based on everyone else on the roster, it may not matter. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. Down goes J.P. Crawford, and that is 1 away. We're going to need your defense, J.P., but we're going to need that bat as well. Come on, my guy. Next up is second baseman Cole Young. Cole's actually been pretty productive for us within the last month, and hopefully he'll be able to get the party started. He's got to be able to get off the 0, get to 1, and if we can get to 1 within the next 2 innings, obviously it's, still a big fucking blowout, but at least it's better than sitting at a 0. First pitch from Suarez to Young. Makes a sinker inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, makes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Suarez to Young. Again, for people that, are just, new fans, not bandwagon fans, but new fans of Cal Raleigh or Julio or the Mariners, again, we've only had 4 good years and 40. 4. Count them. 4. So again, if you're not mentally strong, this is not the team for you. Now this could be the first year in many years that we make the playoffs in a row. But again, you have to be mentally tough to be a fan of any team in Oregon or Washington. That is facts. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. 1-2 pitch, and Young grounds out to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Hopefully he doesn't get hit in the head like he did in the first pitch of the game versus the Mets. First pitch to Randy, takes a strike looking, high and away, 0-1 count. Come on, Randy. Top of the 3rd inning with nobody on and 2 outs. Suarez on the mound and Randy in the box. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're only down 6. 0-1 pitch in play. And Arozarena grounds out to the pitcher and throw to first. And that is the end of the Mariners in the top of the 3rd inning. Let's see who's up next here for Philadelphia. Next up for the Phillies, 1-for-1 with a run, right fielder Nick Castellanos. Batting second, 1-for-1 with a run and an RBI, left fielder Max Kepler. And batting third, second baseman in the 9-hole, 1-for-1 with a run and an RBI, Bryson Stott. But just a quick recap for anybody that's wondering. In the bottom of the 2nd inning, Kepler singled to center. Marsh scored 1-0 Philadelphia. Stott doubled to right. Castellanos scored 2-0 Philadelphia. Turner homered to left with Kepler and Stott aboard. 3-run jack by Trea Turner, 5-0 Philadelphia. And then Realmuto later in that inning homered to left, and then it's 6-0. So we've had 9 hits, and everybody on the Phillies, believe it or not, every single person on the Phillies has at least a hit. 1 for 2, 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 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. And again, we have the next 3 guys up, and they all are going to have a chance to be able to go 2 for 2 here against Logan Gilbert. I have never seen a start like this by any team against Seattle. And let alone, it's not like, we have Emerson Hancock on the mound and we're like, okay, we understand why this is happening. Or, someone that we brought in temporarily like Luis F. Castillo or some jobber pitcher, that we only had. I mean, this is a guy that normally is an all-star, typically a top 10, top 20 pitcher in Logan Gilbert. And I don't know if he's sick. I don't know if he's injured. I don't know if he's just mentally out of it. But again, I have not seen this version of Logan, and again, not ideal. Bottom of the third inning, 6-0 Mariners, and Logan, his day is done. And again, now we're going to bring in Carlos Vargas, and he's so bad that he could literally duplicate exactly everything that happened with Logan Gilbert. So. Yeah, we were just talking about it earlier today, with the cold and the flu reflect and possibly COVID and whatnot. Naylor hasn't been the same, since he missed the game. And every game since he came back, he hasn't been swiping bags. His swing hasn't been really following through. No homers, no real big hits. So it might be, something of that nature, but this is a World Series team in the Philadelphia Phillies. And, we feel like we're World Series contenders in the American League, but the National League is deeper. First pitch from Vargas to Castellanos, fouls it off, high and inside, 0-1 count. But I've never seen Logan Gilbert pitch to this extent, giving a hit up to every single batter, going through the order twice, having guys homer. It just. And Cole Young tries to be able to make a play there, and the ball slips out of his hands, and a nice single by Castellanos. But also, too, like I mentioned, going over road records in MLB, there's only one good team in MLB that's on the road, and that's the Brewers. Everyone else, is only a couple games above 500, at 500, or below 500, even if you're a World Series contender. So, bottom of the third inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. Little chopper. And tries to attempt a double play, but can't. Has to just get the force out at second. Nice job by J.P. Crawford there. Good defense by J.P. Just couldn't find his balance there. Next up is second baseman Bryson Stott. But it definitely shows you, what a rain delay will do to the Mariners. 0-6 with rain delays, and we've had 3 in a week. And that definitely is not good for the mental health of the team. We haven't been sharp at all. 0-1 pitch in play, and Stott flies out to left, and that is 2 away. Nice catch there by Randy. Next up, leading off, 1 for 2 with a 3-run blast. 3 ribbies already. Shortstop stud, Trea Turner. Hopefully we get home runs by Julio or Cal to kind of make up for this. And you got to also remember, Phillies have one of the best records in MLB right there with the Dodgers with 71 wins. And obviously only one higher in the National League is the Brewers with 79. But the Phillies are only 34-32 on the road. And, as far as the Mariners are concerned, we're 31-32, right? But again, as far as, road records, the only team that's good is the Brewers. They're 37-25 on the road. Phillies on the road are only 34-32. So, it's one of those things. It's just really hard to win on the fucking road, regardless on who you play. 0-1 pitch in play. And Turner with another hit into right field in front of Dominic Canzone. Kepler hustling the third and safe. Now we got runners at first and third with 2 outs with a 6-0 deficit. Next up for the Phillies, DHing Kyle Schwarber. First pitch from Vargas to Schwarber, takes a strike swinging, high and away, 0-1 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we're shooting for 5 to 15 subs. And every dollar that we get on a dono train will go towards Seattle Mariner therapy, because we're all going to need it after this game. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Vargas to Schwarber. Yeah, but again, if we didn't have rain delays, we wouldn't be in this position today. 2 back-to-back in that Orioles series, and then obviously yesterday with the Mets. And, travel, there is going to be, issues with travel, but again, if there is a cold, flu, or COVID, floating around, there's a lot of teams that travel that won't play like this. Some teams can win with rain delays, and the Mariners are 0-6. So, and we've had 3 games in a week. That's not good for the mental. And obviously, baseball is just as mental as it is physical. It's probably more mental than physical overall. And again, if you're not in a good headspace, hard to play well. On top of playing a World Series contender like the Philadelphia Phillies. 2-2 pitch. Schwarber in play, grounds out to third, and Gino is there, force out, and got him at first, and that is out number 3. End of the 3rd inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. $11 hits for the Phillies, 1 for the Mariners. Is that good? Brutal. Next up for the Mariners, 0-1 with a K. Big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. At this point, we just have to hope that Cal can homer and Julio can homer so that we have at least something to cheer for. Batting second, 1-for-1, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third baseman in the cleanup spot today, Eugenio Suarez. He's got 47 home runs. Salvador Perez has the record, 48 home runs, most in a single season. And hopefully we can get something special here out of Cal, because today has been rough. First pitch from Ranger Suarez to Cal Raleigh. Takes the strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. And obviously going against a left-handed pitcher that has been kind of a bugaboo, for us. We haven't been able to really figure out the right combination, of guys. But when we have to go with more of a heavy righty lineup, it hasn't really been too ideal for us as of late. 0-1 pitch in play, and grounds out to the pitcher, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Very weird play there. Next up is center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Broken bat went into the crowd there. And they decided to move Gino to the 4 instead of the 5 and swap with Naylor, because Naylor's been struggling. I mean, Gino's been struggling too, but lately he's hit a home run and had a single within the last couple games. So until Naylor is feeling like himself, they're going to, rotate back and forth with Gino at the 4 and Naylor at the 5, and then sometimes Naylor at the 4 and Gino at the 5. So, which kind of makes sense. You want to, just a different perspective and whatnot. So 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Suarez to Rodriguez. Tried inside, let's go M's. We just got to stop the bleeding, find a way to chip away. We don't want to lose, 12-0. We want to be able to try to get a few home runs and a few RBIs so that way we actually have a little confidence in game 2 and game 3. Sounds like Bryce Miller will be back, whether it be tomorrow or Wednesday, but again, he's been injured all year, and I'm not sure if anyone anticipates Miller being lights out in his first start. Could be a long day. 2-2 pitch, and at least Julio's bringing the bat. 2 for 2, and another single there by Julio. Nice job by J-Rod. Next up, third baseman in the cleanup spot today, Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. It could be really sweet if we can get a 2-run blast right here by Gino to get us to 6-2. We're still more than likely going to lose, but again, at least it would give us something to cheer for. First pitch from Suarez to Suarez. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Because that's the order that Cal has been the most efficient at throughout the year. You don't need to have your best hitter like back in the day, in the cleanup spot or even in like the 5-hole. You can be a little unorthodox and, move guys at the 2 or the 3, and if you actually look at a lot of lineups nowadays, it doesn't necessarily mean the best player on the team is going to be batting 4th anymore, or the guy that has the most power in the lineup for home runs. It's not necessarily every team's 4th or 5th batter, for cleanup or in the 5-hole. Sometimes you're going to get the best player in the 2 or the 3. So 0-2 pitch, high and inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. 1-2 pitch, low and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes from Suarez to Suarez. Ranger on the mound, Gino in the box. 2-2 pitch, changeup low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Suarez to Suarez, which we haven't seen all year. This is the first time. And again, really the only thing that might save us is Zach Wheeler being injured and we won't have to face him in this series. But if our starting pitching, bullpen, and hitting is very minimal, we definitely could get swept. Hopefully we win at least a minimum of 1. I was hoping for 2, but that was only going to happen if we won game 1. And down 6-0, it's going to take a miracle on top of a miracle to even get close. Top of the 4th inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're still looking for our first dono on the dono train for therapy. And again, we're trying to get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Once we hit that, we'll go for 20 or more. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Jacob in the building, what's good? Three-two pitch, and Gino flies out to right, and that is 2 away. Next up for Ranger Suarez, 8-6 record with an ERA of 3.28, is Josh Naylor. And again, he missed a few games back with an illness, whether it be cold, flu, or COVID, and he still hasn't really been the same. He was electric for us, getting hits, RBIs, home runs, swiping bags as a bigger guy, and it's not the same type of player within the last week. And hopefully, he'll get over the illness and help us out again, because we really need his production in the lineup as well as his defense and his swiping bag ability. First pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away on the line. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Suarez to Naylor. Top of the 4th inning, global broadcast on MLB Network, 6-0 Philadelphia. And again, Logan Gilbert, I've never seen him pitch like that. And hopefully I never, ever will again. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Suarez to Naylor. And down goes Naylor for out number 3. Trident's up. Let's go M's. We got to find a way to get at least something productive here today. And this is a very brilliant comment right here. You know, because again, the 2-hole more than likely will have a chance to get that extra at-bat late. And if you have your best hitter in the 4-hole or the 5-hole, you may not see them. That's 100% true. That's why we have Cal at the 2 and Julio at the 3. Great comment there. One of the better comments I've seen on the channel in a long time. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 6-0 Philadelphia. Got to make the best of a shitty situation. Next up, first baseman, 1 for 2, Bryce Harper. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, RBI and a K, catcher JT Realmuto. And batting third, 1 for 2, third baseman, Alec Bohm. Trident's up, let's go M's. Looks like they're just going to stick with Vargas now. First pitch from Vargas to Harper. Fouled off low and away, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch in play. Harper grounds out to third. Chino throw to first, and that is 1 away. Next up is catcher JT Realmuto. Realmuto, little slow dribbler, throw to first, and that is 2 away. First pitch to Alec Bohm, high and inside with the sinker, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and inside, 2 balls and no strikes from Carlos Vargas to Alec Bohm. And normally I don't throw pictures up of Vargas because he's like our worst player on the team. But at this point, Logan Gilbert with such a shitty performance and being out at the second, I figured, well, I guess we might have to. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Bohm. Yeah, I mean, again, he's really streaky. Again, he's not going to get a lot of strikeouts. He's going to get a lot of pop-ups and ground outs. And when he's off, he's getting, walks. He's hitting guys. He's, giving up back-to-back hits or a big home run, big RBI. But again, every once in a while, when you have him come in to get like one out or even retire a side, sometimes he does it, But again, not really a guy that I think that we would say that is trustworthy. But at least better than Logan Gilbert was. 6-0 Philadelphia. 2-2 pitch. Bohm fouls that one off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Bohm. And 2-2 pitch. Bohm with a nice hit there. Young tries to handle it, and Naylor tries to swipe the bag, and that might be an error there. That's tough. And Young tries to get it to him, but Naylor couldn't get the grip on that, and he is safe. I mean, when it rains, it pours, right? Next up, center fielder Brandon Marsh. 1-0 pitch in play, and Marsh singles to center, Bohm to third. Runners now at first and third with 2 outs. Next up is right fielder, 2 for 2 with a run, Nick Castellanos. Come on, Vargas, don't give up any more runs, but it's almost inevitable. Yeah, I mean, that's the, to try to be on the bright side of things, right? First pitch to Castellanos, and he grounds out to third, throw to first, and that is out number 3. And again, at least he didn't give up, 1, 2, 3 runs, here like Logan Gilbert did within the first couple innings. So good job by Carlos Vargas, and we haven't really said that too often. But yeah, it would be great if he can end up going down the same kind of path like Bizzardo, where he was one of the worst with Sauce, and then he ended up being one of the best in the pen this year. So yeah, that's exactly what we have to kind of hope for. End of the 4th inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. Now we just need to be able to get, that first home run or that first RBI to stop the bleeding. And if we can get it, then, again, it's not going to necessarily turn into a comeback victory, but at least, getting some stats for some of our guys and trying to rebuild some of the confidence that we lost, obviously, in these last 2 series, the Orioles and the Mets. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the 5th, DHing in the 6th hole, Mitch Garver. 0 for 1 with a K. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, right fielder Dominic Canzone. Would love a Dom bomb, baby. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, shortstop J.P. Crawford. But if we can get a home run by, Garver, Dom, JP, or even an unexpected big one by Cole, someone, I mean, obviously you already know that, Julio is having a good day today, but other than that, we've had a lot of games like that where Julio plays great, but no one else steps up. And I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to be the case here today. Julio's 2 for 2, but hopefully we get a few guys to be able to get us a couple dingers at the very least, even if they're just solo dingers. Obviously you need 2-run blast, 3-run jacks, and grand salamis if you want to get back when you're down 6-0, unless we're able to get back-to-back hits on Suarez or whoever has a meltdown in their bullpen if they have one. But it's been a rough few innings here. 6-0 Philadelphia. And then again, the only other thing that we can root for is the Astros to lose. First pitch from Ranger Suarez to Mitch Garver. High and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. Try to up, let's go M's. M's forever. You got to go through the good, you got to go through the bad, and you got to go through the ugly. things will get better. Got to have some faith. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Flores to Garver. Two pitch, and Garver strikes out swinging, and that is 1 away. Next up is right fielder Dominic Canzone. And luckily also, we've only been blown out only a handful of times, 5 to 10 times in 100 plus games. So it's not like this happens to us often. It just stings when we've already been losing games and series that we feel that we should have won, and rain delays kind of killed our momentum. 3 in a week, 0 for 6 on the year with rain delays. And now we're playing one of the best teams that we played all year in their house. And it hasn't gone the way that we thought for sure. And Dominic Canzone with a nice single right up the middle, baby. There we go. Nice job, Dom. It wasn't a Dom bomb, but hell, at this point, we'll take anything. Singles, doubles, triples, home runs, ribbies, walks, guys getting plunked, as long as they don't get hurt. Nice job, Dom. See if we can get a rally going. Next up is J.P. Crawford. First pitch from Suarez to Crawford. Takes the strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. High and away with that slider, 79 miles an hour by Suarez. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. Ice water in the veins. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We need something positive. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, baby. Two-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. We need 4 more likes to get to 50. And again, we're trying to shoot for 100 and 100. Now we're at 48. 2 more to go to get to 50. And we got at least 30 to 35 people that haven't hit the like button yet. Do your boy a solid and help us get some numbers so we can have at least some type of positivity here today. 2-2 pitch. And JP strikes out looking, and that is 2 away. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. I might need that for therapy. Next up, 0 for 1, second baseman Cole Young. First pitch from Suarez to Young, takes the strike looking outside of the box. It should have been a ball, but called strike, 0-1 count. It's not easy being a Pacific Northwest fan of any Oregon or Washington team. That's why we're built different. It may take a long time for our teams to get good, 5 to 10 years. But once we hit that point where we're good, we're usually championship good. We're not going to be as consistent as small market teams compared to, teams normally in like LA or New York. But again, you have to be mentally strong and mentally tough to be able to handle, the ups and the downs. 0-1 pitch in play, and Young flies out to right, and that is out number 3. At this point, I just don't want us to get a donut. Let's at least get 1 or 2 on the board if we're going to drop this game. And hopefully we get a home run by Cal Raleigh for some history to tie Salvador Perez, and maybe Julio, to get another home run under his belt would be nice. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Phillies in the bottom of the 5th. Next up for the Phillies, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Left fielder Max Kepler. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Second baseman Bryson Stott. And batting third, 2 for 3 with a run, 3 RBIs, and a big 3-run blast, Trea Turner. I'm going to go get my pup a little bit of dinner, so I'll be right back. Give me like 1 minute. First pitch from Vargas to Kepler, fouls it off, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. And they still got Carlos Vargas out there, and obviously one of our worst guys, on the team, besides Dylan Moore, overall, but he's pitching much better than Logan Gilbert, considering Logan is normally one of our best players on the team, but he didn't have it today. 0-1 pitch in play, and Kepler grounds out to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. And at least this gives Vargas a little bit more experience. Like, how often does Vargas get a chance to pitch, 3-4 innings? Fucking never. Sometimes he'll pitch 2. Sometimes it's just an out or maybe, 1 inning. But maybe this will give him a little bit more confidence and experience by being able to go against some elite players like the Phillies. And it's crazy, to see Logan get hit after hit after hit after hit. And we know Vargas is not on the Gilbert level, and he hasn't even given up in a run yet. So, we have to look at the bright side of things when things are going bad. First pitch to Bryson Stott, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, and Stott lines out to the shortstop, and that is 2 away. Down goes Bryson. Nice job by Vargas. Next up is Trea Turner, 2 for 3 with a run and a big 3-run blast earlier in the game. Let's go, Carlos. Find a way. Bottom of the 5th inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. First pitch from Vargas to Turner. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch in play. And Turner grounds out to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. End of the 5th inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. I mean, hell, at this point, we would have been better off starting Carlos Vargas and having him pitch the game than Logan Gilbert. Maybe we would only be down 2-0 or something like that at this point. But again, great job by Carlos Vargas here the last few innings. But again, it's not just Logan Gilbert. We're still at 0. The bats have not come alive. We only have 3 hits and an error. They have 12 hits at this point and 6 runs. So the bats need to come alive. And again, Rangers Flores is a good pitcher. And, we got to find a way to get something going here. And it seems like, again, we haven't really been the same, in the last few days. So rain delays are a motherfucker. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2. Left fielder leading off, Randy Arozarena. Hopefully we can get Randy with a single, and then maybe we can get a big dumper home run for number 48 to get us to 2. Because if we can get to 1 or 2, it's still not likely we come back and win, but at least we can feel a little bit better about fucking today. Let's go, big dumper. Find a way, baby. We're looking for history. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And then batting third, a game that obviously is no problem to him. 2 for 2, Julio Rodriguez. And this looks like it may be one of those games where Julio plays great, but no one else steps up. And I hope that's not the case, but it seems like it's kind of the common theme for whatever reason. When we get blasted, Julio will step up in that game when we're, having almost like 0% chance to win, and he can go like 4 for 5 or 3 for 4. But what about the others? That's the real question. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. All right, we hit the 50 mark. We're at 52, 48 more likes to go. Now we're at 53, 47 more to go to hit 100. Let's go, baby. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, 2 balls and no strikes from Suarez to Arozarena. Top of the 6th inning, 6-0 Philadelphia. And I'm hoping that we can get to that 100-like number. We've hit 100 to 150 to 200 every stream for weeks on weeks. But again, I get it. We're down 6-0, so obviously some of those individuals that aren't loyal or, just gave up on this game, shit happens. 2-1 pitch, takes the strike looking high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Two pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside, and that is 1 away. Down goes Randy. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And obviously, I feel Cal plays better when he starts off batting from the left side. And when we go against left-handed pitching and he has to start on the right side, at least lately, maybe at the beginning of the year, it didn't really matter because he was hot, from the left and the right. But a majority of those home runs, are going to be from the left side. And then obviously you're going to get like 15, 16, 17, out of the 47 that are going to be from the right side. So it's like 30 from one side, 17 from the other. So he can still do it, but it just feels like he's got better rhythm when he starts off batting from the left. And then if they do throw in a lefty pitcher later and have to bat right, then it's not that big of a deal. But we'll see if he can fight it here. Top of the 6th, 6-0 Philly lead with 1 out, nobody on. And we got 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Suarez on the mound, big dumper in the box. Come on, big dumper. Got to have something to cheer for. Let's go. Global broadcast here on MLB Network, 6-0 Philadelphia. It would have been much better if we were only down like 2 or 3-0. Still would be, not ideal, but 1-2 pitch, and Cal pops out to second, and that is 2 away. And at least we have one player that's doing something today, and Julio Rodriguez, he's 2 for 2. So, yeah, we might end up dropping this game, but if Julio can go 4 for 5 and hit a home run or 2, at least that's something. Let's pitch to Julio Rodriguez from Ranger Suarez, high and inside with a cutter, 86 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, J-Rod. See if Julio can get us off the schneid. I mean, he's got 2 of the 3 hits today, so the only other person that's got a hit is Dominic Canzone. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. 1-1 pitch, fouls it off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. Julio in the box. Ranger Suarez on the mound. One-two pitch, and takes strike 3 looking right down the middle, and that is the end of the Mariners here in the top of the 6th. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th and see who's up for the Phillies. Legomina is coming in to relieve Vargas now. We'll see how that goes. A great job by Carlos Vargas. Normally we're complaining about him, and he's giving up home runs and big hits and walking guys and hitting guys, and he actually pitched great, much better than Logan Gilbert today. Great job by Vargas. That's some good experience for him. Next up for the Phillies, DHing Kyle Schwarber. Batting second, first baseman Bryce Harper, and batting third, catcher JT Realmuto. Nice. We need them to beat the Stros. Great job by Carlos Vargas with all things that have transpired today. Now Casey Legomina coming in. We'll see what Casey will do here today. Next up is Kyle Schwarber. Matt in the building. What's good? First pitch from Legomina to Schwarber. Fouls it off high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging. High and away with the changeup. 87 miles an hour by Legomina. No balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber. 0-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Legomina. No balls and 2 strikes with a 6-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. 0-2 pitch and strikes out looking high and away. Probably should have been called ball, but I guess we'll take that. Nice job by Legomina getting a punch out on his first batter, and that is 1 away. Next up is first baseman Bryce Harper. First pitch to Bryce. Back. See ya. Crushes that one. 440 feet. My God. And now it's 7-0 Phillies. Make the bleeding stop. Make the pain stop. Nice electricity there for Bryce Miller. No. Bryce Harper. Next up is catcher JT Realmuto. But we should be getting Bryce Miller back for the M's today or tomorrow. Or tomorrow and the next day. Bottom of the 6th, 7-0 Philadelphia. First pitch is inside, at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to JT Realmuto. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Legomina to Realmuto. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7-0 Philadelphia. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Legomina to Realmuto. Come on, Casey. Find a way. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we usually are sitting around that 5 to 15 sub mark, but obviously we're usually not down 7-0. So gained a couple subs so far, and hopefully we'll get a few more before the game ends. 86 to go to 21,600. Two-two pitch in play, and a big double off the wall, and JT to second. Stand-up double by Realmuto. Next up is third baseman, 1 for 3, Alec Bohm. And first pitch to Bohm, and flies out to right. Dominic Canzone hustling, and that is 2 away. Good catch there by Dom, with all things considered. Next up is center fielder Brandon Marsh. First pitch to Marsh, fouls it off low and away with the sinker, 0-1 count. Legomina on the mound. Marsh in the box. Oh, 1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomina to Marsh. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Brandon Marsh. Two 1 pitch, high and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Brandon Marsh. 3-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full with a runner at second and 2 outs. 7-0 Philadelphia lead after Logan Gilbert gave up 6 runs within the first couple innings. And we just had Bryce Harper hit a solo dinger off Legomina. And we're hoping that we can get off the donut here and get at least 1 or 2 runs before this game is over. Yeah, best beard in the business. Looks like he should be on Duck Dynasty. I mean, he'd fit in right. If he was sitting down with the cast, he wouldn't even know any different. 3-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count still is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Marsh. 3-2 pitch, and Marsh strikes out swinging. Nice job by Legomina, even though he gave up that homer to Bryce Harper. And now we're at the top of the 7th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. We got 3 chances left to get at least 1 run. Next up for the Mariners, third baseman, 0 for 2, Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. Come on, I'll take a solo dinger in garbage time any day. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman Josh Naylor, who hasn't really been the same since he fell due to an illness a couple days ago. And batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, DHing Mitch Garver. Try to end up. Let's go, M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Try to be able to salvage this day the best that we can. We need 1 more like to get to 60. We gained about 5 subs today, so we got that. And we're still looking for our first dono on the dono train. 40 more likes to go. 100 more on the dono train. And we'll see if we get a few more subs before the game is over. Can't get a 0. Let's go, baby. Got to find a way. Dig deep. All right, come on, Gino. Come on, Naylor. Come on, Garv. Somebody's got to do something here. First pitch from Suarez to Suarez. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Top of the 7th inning. 7-0 Philadelphia. And again, if Gilbert wasn't so bad, maybe we're only down like 2-0 or 3-0, which would still be bad, but not as bad as 7. And again, another one of those games where Julio plays great, but no one else is really doing anything. And hopefully before the game is over, someone else besides Julio can have a home run or something productive or an RBI. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Ranger Suarez to Eugenio Suarez. Come on, Gino. Legendary with the $10 dono. Appreciate you, man, especially in a game like this. Every dollar counts. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. If there's something that you want to be able to see photo-wise of your favorite player, let me know, and I got you. Thank you so much for your support. The last thing that we want to do is, end on with a donut for the Mariners and a donut and a 0 on the dono, movement that we got going here today as Gino strikes out. That is 1 away. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. We're at 10 now, 90 to go. Next up for the Mariners, first baseman is Josh Naylor. 0 for 2 with a K. Let's see if we can get at least something positive here out of Naylor. I appreciate you very, very much. Top of the 7th inning, 7-0 Philly. First pitch from Suarez to Naylor. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, low and away with the slider. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh. We need something positive here. When you're getting your ass kicked, it's hard to get up, for anything positive that maybe could happen. But we still got a couple innings to go for at least maybe a home run, something. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Top of the 7th inning, 7-0 Philadelphia. And also on the bright side, it's like we've only gotten blown out 5 to 10 times in like 100 games. So at least this is not something that happens to us on a regular basis. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Go M's, baby. All day, every day. Some days, it's going to be great. Other days are going to be like this. It's peaks and valleys. Some games are going to be incredible and you'll be talking about it for, days on end. And other games are going to be like this where you're just going to want to burn the tape and forget about it and get into tomorrow's matchup. And hopefully it's much better. And it's like I said, I've never seen Logan Gilbert pitch so poorly ever in any start, to my recent memory. 2-2 pitch, low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Suarez to Naylor. And it's not like we're getting a meltdown by Suarez, where he's walking guys and he's hitting guys. We haven't really got an opportunity to get any rhythm really going today as Naylor grounds out to third, throw to first, and that is 2 away. The defense there by Philadelphia. They are a World Series contender. Believe that. Next up, DHing in the 6th hole is Mitch Garver. First pitch to Garver from Suarez. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. And Suarez is at 93 pitches, so you would assume this will be the last inning that he'll be out there. Oh-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. Somebody's got to be a hero here. One pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Suarez to Garver. And Ranger's been very good here today. Hasn't made a whole lot of mistakes. .2 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 10 Ks. And we haven't had a 10K performance on us in a minute. 3-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, we're down 7-0, but I refuse to lose with a 0. We have to find a way to get to a minimum of 1, preferably 2. But that obviously is easier said than done. But again, if we can have a meltdown by someone in the 8th or the 9th or both, we might have a chance to actually have that happen. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver. Three-two pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Count still is full in 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on and 2 outs. 7-0 Philadelphia. Oh, here we go. Back. See ya. There it is, baby. You ask and you shall receive. Mitch Garver with a home run to center. And again, the sports gods, if I ask for it, sometimes I'll get it. And there you go. We may lose this matchup, but we're not going to get a fucking donut. Nice job by Mitch Garver. And we were just talking about that. And Mitch delivers. 7-1 Philadelphia. Great job. And again, I think that dono right here by Legend actually had something to do with that as well. Let's go. See, you ate the Philly cheesesteak. Let's go. Next up is Dominic Canzone. And when is the best time to get a home run? Right after you got one. Let's see if we can get a Dom bomb here with 2 outs to make it 7-2. Just to be able to get a little bit of Uncle Mo and momentum going into tomorrow's matchup. Nice job by Mitch Garver. And we did mention at the beginning of the broadcast that Mitch could be one of those, guys that could maybe get a home run for us today, and he did. And he's not a guy that hits home runs often. 0-1 pitch in play, and Canzone hit by pitch. Here we go. This is the first type of momentum that we've seen all game. Garver with a solo dinger. Canzone gets plunked, and it looks like he goes down to a knee. I hope he's okay. Uh-oh. Hope he didn't break his wrist. Golly. That's the last thing that we need is Canzone to have his wrist be broken. Oh, man, he is grimacing in pain. Fuck, that's not good. Let's look at the replay here again. Suarez, and he goes for the swing, and it hits him right on the wrist, and he has no padding there. Holy hell. I hope that's not broken. But he is in pain. He's on one knee. The trainers are there. Golly, I hope he's okay. Because normally when you see a guy, on one knee, 2 knees, on his back, wiggling around, it's usually not good. And we know Dom is tough, but I just hope that it just, kind of like a stinger where there's no broken bones. Next up is JP Crawford, but, he may be wearing a pad on that area, but right there on the skin and bone. Fuck, 95 too. Still kind of looking it over with him. I hope he's all right. We love you, Dom. And obviously Dom is filling in for Robles until he's ready. Next up is shortstop JP Crawford. But again, they're still trying to evaluate Dom there. Like on that one, it's like he should have done like a full swing or no swing at all. And it was kind of like a check swing. And Dom is tough as hell. Look at him trotting to first. And obviously, he's going to play through the pain. And I assume that'll be the last pitch that you're going to see out of Ranger Suarez. And it is. But a great day by Suarez, besides giving up that home run and plunking Dominic Canzone. 10K game for Ranger Suarez. And again, they're going to need him to be well and elite, especially with Zach Wheeler on the IL. Not a lot of high-end velocity, really around 90 to 93, but very effective on the Seattle Mariners today. 8-6 record with a 3.28 ERA, and he definitely did his job for the Phillies tonight. JP Crawford in the box, and then they're going to be bringing in Romano. Jordan Romano is entering the matchup here after we get back from a commercial break. Yeah, they sent him down to AAA this morning, but you will see what happens as they evaluate Dom. And at least the Astros are losing to the Tigers, so at least we got that going for us. All right, Jordan Romano, first pitch to J.P. Crawford. Low and at the knees with the slider, 1-0 count. 7-1, Philadelphia. We got a nice home run there by Mitch Garver, and I really do believe Legend started it. You know, if we didn't have anything on the Dono train up to that point, and you know, sometimes all it takes is just one moment of positivity, and then seconds later, you know, as we talked about Garver possibly hitting a homer, and he did. Even with the Philly cheesesteak that you ate today, we still found a way. 1-0 pitch, and JP with a single. Look at that. And again, after not being able to really do anything all day, Mitch Garver with a home run. Dom gets plunked on the wrist, but obviously battles back. And then JP with a single. Now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs, and we're rallying. Let's go. Sports gods are finally giving us a little bit of life. Next up is Cole Young. And again, I don't expect Cole Young to hit a 3-run blast to make it 7-4, but how crazy would that be if that happened? So, you know, again, we'll take a single, a double, a ground rule double, you know, anything to be able to get us to at least 2. And again, I wanted 1 or 2, and we already got the 1, and we still got 3 innings to go. Top of the 7th, top of the 8th, and the top of the 9th. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Got to make the best out of a shitty situation. And it would be great if we could actually capitalize on a little bit more here with 2 outs. We're very good in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, and we're very good with 2 outs. See if we can make some magic happen here. And everything that we do from this point forward will help us, you know, in game 2 and game 3 in this series on the road. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. 7-1, Phillies lead. And again, if Gilbert didn't give up fucking 6 runs in the first 2 innings, I think that we would be pretty close. Like maybe we're down 3-1 right now, not 7-1. So 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Romano to Young. Come on, Cole. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Romano to Young. Let's go, baby. Always got to make the best of you know, a shitty bad situation. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second and 2 out. Here we go. Back. See ya. He did it. Cole Young with a big 3-run blast. And just like that, 7-4 Phillies. Wow. And again, when you got a guy that's a singles hitter, you know, it's crazy when you say, oh, maybe he'll hit a 3-run jack, but it's not really, you know, normally going to happen. Look at that. Cole Young. Let's go. Now you're going to start to see some people coming into the room because now we're only down by 3. Here we go. And again, it's never over until it's over, baby. And again, a lot of people left, you know, the stream or turned it off, you know, but again, with the Mariners, no matter how bad we are, you know, it's not over until it's over, even when you're down 6-0. And just like that, I mean, if you're just tuning in, it looks like it's kind of a back and forth game, but we got all 4 runs right here. And we just needed Ranger Suarez to exit, and we needed a meltdown by their bullpen. And Jordan Romano gives us the fucking meltdown that we wanted. Let's go, baby. Cole Young with a big 3-run blast. And that's a 9-hole hitter hitting a big 3-run blast, baby. Let's go. And it all started with this right here. If this doesn't happen, maybe we're still at 0. But he finds a way to get it done. There we go. You'll see a little spike in viewership, I would assume, especially now we're only down 3. Could you imagine if we come back and win this game 8-7? It'll be literally the biggest comeback in like Mariner history. Like seriously, with everything that happened. First pitch from Romano to Arozarena, low and away, 1-0 count. And it makes you kind of wonder if, you know, Logan Gilbert only gave up 3 runs instead of fucking 6. You know, maybe we're tied right now, not down by 3. 1-0 pitch, and Arozarena grounds out to the pitcher, flip to first, and then the rally ends, but not after a solo dinger by Mitch Garver and a 3-run blast by Cole Young. I love this team because, again, no matter how bad shit looks, when you're getting fucking smoked, 6-0, 7-0, this team fucking battles. And we know the Phillies are World Series contenders, but guess what? The Seattle Mariners in 2025, we are as well. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, realistically, we're still more than likely going to lose, but this should help us going into tomorrow and Wednesday. And who knows? I mean, if we get a meltdown in the 8th and the 9th, is it crazy to think that we score 2 next inning and 1 in the 9th, go into extra innings, and possibly win 8-7 in the 10th, 11th, or 12th? I know it sounds crazy, but no one thought we would even score any today. And somehow we got to 4. So let's go. Beautiful. And again, what did I say at the beginning of the broadcast? At the beginning of the broadcast, I said we're probably going to end up needing heroes that are unexpected to hit home runs. And I highlighted Garver, Dom, JP, and Cole Young. And out of those 4 players that I highlighted, guess what? 2 of them homered. So again, I'm not saying my ESP is going to be 100% every single day, but if you watch me compared to anybody else on YouTube, we're going to have those moments a few times a game compared to some others that won't have any. Let's go. Let's go, baby. $5 holla. Stacks. Racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Let's go. Nice job by Garv. Hey, bang. Nice job by Cole Young. Let's go. And sometimes it's those unexpected heroes that end up helping you come back. And now we have 2 home runs, and now we have a chance for maybe a Cal Raleigh or Julio home run here late. Bottom of the 7th inning, 7-4 Philadelphia. No, I don't need any therapy anymore. I mean, all I needed for us to get to 1 to not really need the therapy anymore, and we got the Garver home run. And then now, obviously, getting the 3-run blast by Cole Young, not only does it give us a little bit of hope, instead of having a 0% chance to win or tie, now it's still low. It's maybe like 10 to 15%, but I'll take 10 to 15% rather than fucking 0. So great job there. First pitch to Legomena, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, and Castellanos flies up and flies out to center. Julio is there, no fly zone, 1 away. Down goes Nick. I like that. Next up is Max Kepler. Yeah, Mitch Garver with a solo dinger and Cole Young with a 3-run blast, all in the same inning after we were down 7-0. So, again, this Mariner team is built different. Best team that we've had since 2001. So it feels good when you're getting smoked and you find a way to come back. Let's go. They're in the building. What's good? David with a 5-er. And again, when you're sitting at 0 on the dono train, sometimes you just need one person to believe. And we got it. Stacks, racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Therapy donos turning into positive donos at this point. 1-0 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomena to Kepler. And the crazy thing is that Carlos Vargas, when he came in for Gilbert, actually pitched better, than Legomena and Gilbert combined. But, it is what it is. 1-1 pitch in play, and Kepler singles to right. Nice single there by Max Kepler. Next up is second baseman Bryson Stott. And again, if Logan Gilbert didn't give up fucking 6 runs in the first 2 innings and had to exit, we would have been in a better position for sure. Could be tied up right now. First pitch by Legomena, wild pitch, and Kepler goes to second, unaided. Bottom of the 7th, 7-4 Philadelphia. Cody, you gave up though. And that's why you don't give up, no matter how bad things look. It's like we were down 5-0 to the Astros, and it was even worse than this game, or just as bad, right? And then we ended up scoring 7 runs in the last 2 innings and winning 7-6 in extras. So it's not going to happen every time where we have a comeback. There are going to be times where we hit 0 or 1, but again, this team is a little different than what we were typically used to, at least hitting-wise. 1-0 pitch, peaks the strike looking, 1 ball and 1 strike to Bryson Stott, and again, for all of the people that were watching and turned it off or that were here early and left, and then they look on their phone, oh shit, 7-4, so you'll definitely get a little bit of a, spike in viewership, whether it's here or, the game itself. Never give up until it's over. 1-1 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and 1 strike from Legomina to Stott. It's a great example of, it's not over till it's over, no matter how bad shit looks. And it looked really bad early. 6-0 in the second inning. I mean, how many teams would be able to come back from that? Like 1% of the 30? 2-1 pitch in play, and Stott flies out to center, and that is 2 away. Next up is shortstop Trea Turner. 2 for 4 with a run, 3 RBIs, and a big 3-run jack early. And obviously, if that didn't happen, maybe the score right now is 4-4, or maybe they're up 5-4, and we actually feel that, hey, we actually really have a chance. And honestly, we're down 3 right now, but we were down 7 just a few minutes ago. So, if we can have another meltdown by the Phillies and their bullpen, we'll see. But it can't happen with Legomina giving up a double to Turner, and now it's 8-4. Come on, Legomina. Legomina is not as bad as Logan Gilbert today, but crazy to say that Carlos Vargas outpitched Legomina and Gilbert, and now it's 8-4. Obviously, they don't want to really use any of their good pitchers. But again, when you end up bringing guys that are a little suspect, then sometimes that's going to happen. Legomina giving up a solo dinger to Harper a few innings ago, and then a big RBI, obviously, from Trea Turner right there. And now Schwarber with another hit right up the middle, and that will score Turner 9-4. See, and that's why they shouldn't have kept Legomina in the game. When you're at 7-4, they should have subbed a different pitcher, and that was a mistake there. Like, we had all this hope and all of this faith that, we might be able to have a very small percentage of a comeback, and now Legomina, giving away everything that we earned, by Mitch Garver with the solo dinger and Cole Young with the 3-run blast. Be better, Legomina. You're terrible. Next up is Bryce Harper. And this Phillies team has got an amazing lineup. But it just feels good that we're not going to end this game at 9-0 or even 9-1. I mean, even if we don't score any more the rest of the game, it's a hell of a lot more than any of us were anticipating. But it kind of feels like we might be able to get a run or 2 more before the game is up. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bryce Harper. It would have been a lot better if we were still stuck at 7-4 with 2 innings to go. Then it would be like, oh, we actually have a chance. But it shows you how important pitching really is. 1-1 pitch. Back. See ya! And there it is. 7-4 turns into 11-4. And the 4 runs that we got, they just got back because Legomina stinks. And Bryce Harper with a multi-homer game. And that's why you don't have Legomina playing. Jesus Christ. I mean, we were down 7-0. We got it to 7-4, and then the Phillies are like, oh, that's cute. Oh, you guys got 4 runs? We'll get 4 right back in the next half inning. And they did. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. Just when we want to get a little bit excited, it's like we never can celebrate fucking anything. As soon as we do something cool, then literally 2 minutes later, they're like, fuck you. And we're going to get it right back and some. And just like that, when it was 7-0, we got it to 7-4, and then they just scored 4 runs right when we scored 4, and now we're down 11-4. Great job, Legomina, you fucking bum. First pitch from Legomina to Realmuto, fouls it off high and inside, 0-1 count. Like, think about how bad you have to be once you have all the momentum back, and you're down 7-0, and you get it to 7-4 with homers by Garver and Cole Young, right? Garver with a solo blast, Cole Young in the 9-hole hitting a 3-run blast. Never happens. And then you end up doing this. You fucking stink, Legomina. Terrible. Fucking terrible. First pitch to Realmuto, fouls it off high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to JT Realmuto. 1-1 pitch, and Realmuto with a single, and Casey Legomina is doing his best impersonation of Logan Gilbert earlier today. Christ, both of them are terrible today. Yeah, now it goes back to therapy. We said, no, we don't need therapy. We're down 7-4. And then they're like, okay, we're going to score and get all 4 runs back that you guys got. You guys think you're good? Nice try. Yeah, but the thing is, it's not like we're the Angels or the A's. We're going to go to the playoffs, and the American League is up for grabs. You know, we might not be able to win against the Phillies this year. You know, we might only win like one game. You know, but again, it's us, the Astros, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and then I guess if you want to mention the Guardians, Yankees, or Red Sox, but I don't know if anyone really thinks that those teams have a chance, but I guess you can mention them, you know, and, you know, it's up for grabs. I don't think anyone really believes that, you know, maybe the Tigers and, you know, Blue Jays, even though they have the best records, does anybody really believe that those two teams or one of those two are actually going to make the World Series? Maybe their fan base, you know, but there is a strong belief, you know, even though that, you know, Yankees have been reeling, Boston and the Guardians, you know, have been up and down. You know, maybe the Astros and Mariners could be one of those teams that could, you know, possibly beat the Blue Jays or Tigers and, you know, get that spot. Legomena to Bohm, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Get the fuck out of this inning. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Alec Bohm. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alec Bohm. Starting pitching has not been our friend this year. Injuries and starting pitching have been Budios. Hitting has been fantastic overall compared to the last 3 to 4 years. You know, and then bullpen is just, you know, it's streaky. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's fucking terrible, like today. 1-2 pitch, and Bohm grounds out to second, and we finally get out of the inning. But again, all the excitement that we had after being down 7-0 to get it to 7-4, to actually have a chance to come back, Legomena and his shitty ass pitching on the mound, and the great hitting by the Phillies ended that fucking belief. And just when we score 4 runs, they score 4 in the same fucking inning. What are the chances? Unfucking believable. Let's go to the top of the 8th, and instead of being down by fucking 3, we're down by 7. Fucking bum. And now we have to hope that we can get home runs by Cal and Julio, at least for stats now. But again, it's better than being down 11-0, right? So we have to take that in effect. 0 for 3 with a K, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. He's had to have all his at-bats, obviously right-handed due to left-handed pitching. But we'll see if we can get a left-handed at-bat at some point here. Batting second, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. One of those games where he plays well. And you know, it's not just him. At least Garver and Cole Young are joining the party. And batting third baseman Eugenio Suarez. God damn, the Phillies have 19 hits. Jesus Christ. Come on, Cal. I need a homer by Cal. I need a homer by Julio. I need a homer by Gino. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Gained another sub. $85 subs to go to get to 21,600. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and 20 subs before this one is over. We're at 70. We need 30 more likes to get to a hundo. First pitch to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Takes a strike looking, high and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Four-seam fastball inside, high and tight, 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Orion Kirkering to Cal Raleigh, the only Orion that is in the MLB. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. We're in the top of the 8th, down by 7. We were able to get it down to 7-4 after being down 7-0, but that's what happens when you have guys in the pen that just can't get the job done. And you also have to give the Phillies credit. This is a fucking really good team, World Series contenders in the National League, right there with the Cubs, the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Padres. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Orion Kirkering to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Never thought I would see another Orion in the big leagues, but there it is. 2-2 pitch. Inside. Now count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Cal finally gets the bat from the left side. 3-2 pitch and big swing and a miss. Unable to get a hit on Orion, and that is 1 away. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. 2 for 3 with a K. See if we can get a home run, a solo dinger by Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch to Julio, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. I mean, to a certain degree, but again, he's not going to put in, Brash or Bizzardo or Spire when we're down. So again, he's going to be putting in the shitty guys. And unfortunately, when you put in guys that are average or shitty, then the lead gets bigger. He's not going to waste one of the good guys in the pen in a game that we're not going to come back and win. So, I mean, if you're basing it off today's game, not so much, but there's also games where maybe we're tied or we're ahead. And instead of bringing in Brash or Bizzardo or Spire, and you bring in guys like Vargas and Legomina, then in that instance, maybe you would be correct. But for today, not so much, because you're not going to bring in a guy that's good when you're down. At least that's what, has been happening so far in 2025. 1-1 pitch, high and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirkering to Julio Rodriguez. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Kirkering on the mound and Julio in the box. And again, it's his first time, managing the team. He's slightly better, than Scott Service. We already knew he kind of capped out on, his particular, type of coaching style and managing style, but could be a hell of a lot better. But it's not like there's a bunch of great managers in baseball. Out of 30 teams, there's 5 that are good. So 2-2 pitch. And Julio strikes out looking, and that is 2 away. Except for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a K is Eugenio Suarez. Would be a great time to get a solo dinger here for us to get to 11-5. Yeah. But again, some of you guys have to realize how baseball is about. So. Yeah, but I mean, what do you want him to do? You're gonna have Logan Gilbert get pulled in the first inning? It's not like he let him go 5 innings and we were down 15-0. So, and Suarez grounds out to the pitcher for out number 3. So, I mean, you guys are acting like Gilbert went 5 innings and we're down 11-0. I mean, at least on the bright side, Carlos Vargas, who's one of the worst players on the team, with Dylan Moore, played well. So at least there's something. Garver homered, Cole Young with a 3-run blast. I mean, it's not like we're down 11-0 right now. You got to be able to take the good and the bad, And again, you can definitely tell who's been a long-time Mariner fan and, who is new. who's just been a fan recently or who's betting on parlays. Again, you got to be mentally tough to be a fan of any team of Oregon and Washington. Again, you're going to have a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys, and there's going to be a lot of disappointment. But again, there is going to be joy and some good times as well. But what are you going to do in that type of situation? Gilbert was off. It was probably one of the worst performances I've seen from Logan Gilbert, but not like he kept him in for 5-6 innings and we're down 20-0. Next up for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 8th. Center fielder in the 6th hole, 2 for 4 with a run and a K. Best beard in the business, Chuck Dynasty, Brandon Marsh. Batting second, right fielder in the 7th hole, Nick Castellanos. And batting third, left fielder, 8-hole hitter, Max Kepler. Bottom of the 8th inning, 11-4 Philadelphia. I'm probably older than you. What are you talking about? I'm 43, my guy. Bottom of the 8th, 11-4 Philadelphia. Again, it could be a hell of a lot worse. We could be down 11-0. So see if we can get one more run or 2 more runs before this one is up, and hopefully that'll carry over till tomorrow. First pitch, Marsh flies out to right, and that is 1 away. Next up is right fielder Nick Castellanos. And they got Jackson Kowar in the game now, who lately has been able to give up quite a few RBIs and home runs. Hopefully it'll be not the case here, but don't hold your breath. First pitch for Jackson Kowar to Nick Castellanos. Big swing and a miss, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the slider, 1 ball and 1 strike to Nick Castellanos. 1-1 pitch, low and away, paints the corner, doesn't get the call. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. 11-4 Philadelphia lead. Two-one pitch, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Kowar to Castellanos. And it shows you how important pitching truly is. Normally our starting pitching would be electric, but we couldn't hit worth anything. You'd have 1 guy out of 9 that could hit, during the year. Going from a team that batted 180 to 220, for years. And then now we're batting like 240, 250 as a team. We got an AL MVP candidate in Cal Raleigh, who should win the award over Judge. Julio's been really good after the All-Star break. So you're going to have ups and downs. And this is the first year in maybe 15 years that we've had major injuries. Bliss, Robles, Rayleigh, Gilbert, Kirby, Bryce Miller, just to name a few. So, it hasn't really been, the ideal typical year. You've got to take the good and the bad. And Castellanos with the walk. Next up is Max Kepler. Don't let this young face fool you. I've been a fan since 1985. I'm not 20. I'm not 30. I'm 43. First pitch from Kowar to Kepler. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Obviously with the pitching that we have at this point, we're not going to win this game, but, at least we can get a few more positive things as we go into tomorrow's matchup as well as Wednesday. And then we have Thursday, a day off, and then we go home finally to T-Mobile, thank God, and we play the Athletics, but we can't get too comfortable because sometimes when we play down to the competition, if they have a bad record and think it's going to be easy, they punch you in the mouth with, a Kurtz home run or Lawrence Butler or Brent Rooker early RBI or home run. You might not be able to come back. So I'm hoping that, we'll be focused after this very rough road trip that we've had with these teams. 0-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Kolar to Kepler. It's hard to win games on the road. Baseball is the hardest sport to play, period. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the slider. Tries to paint the corner and misses it by a few inches. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kolar to Kepler. But instead of getting guys, like Polo and Mitch Garver, Masterboni and Solano, should have used that money for starting pitching and moved them to the pen, or, guys that were relief pitchers that were great and then added them to the roster. If we needed to be able to get other players, positional players, we could have got those guys from the farm, You got to make sure you're spending money wisely. And, I don't really understand why the Mariners aren't spending money in the offseason for pitching. That's what we need. 1-2 pitch, and Kepler flies out to left, and that is 2 away. Next up is second baseman Bryson Stott. The only way that we were going to win 2 games out of 3 is if we won game 1. So I think we're going to win 1 game out of 3. But again, after this series is over, we put this shit behind us, have a day off. And then Friday we play the Athletics. And then that's when we really need to start getting it into high gear. And also having 3 rain delays in a week didn't help us out either. If we would have won 2 out of 3 against the Orioles, 2 out of 3 against the Mets, we wouldn't be in this position today. The 3 rain delays in a week fucked us, and now we're 0-6 in rain delays, and 3 of them happened within the last few days. So, you got to take that in consideration as well. And we're like 0-5, 0-6 whenever a pitcher makes his MLB debut, and that happened in the Mets series as well. So, can't win with rain, can't win when someone has an MLB debut, and can't win with Logan Evans on the road, but luckily he's on the IL, and Miller is back. 1-1 pitch, and popped up, and that is 2 away. One pitch in playing, and a Stott with a single to center, Castellanos to third. Now you got runners at first and third with 2 outs. But definitely the schedule hasn't really favored us. If you go back and look at some of the tough series that we've had back to back to back to back, it hasn't really been ideal. We definitely played really well at the beginning of the year when we won 9 consecutive series in a row, where we were averaging 6 runs a game for a month and a half. But what happened after that ended? We hit a big slump and a wall, and we were only hitting, 1 to 3 runs for like a month and a half after. So you're going to have peaks and valleys with this team. First pitch to Turner, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike. With runners on the corners at first and third with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Trea Turner, who absolutely has destroyed us in this series. Leadoff hitters, especially shortstops like Francisco Lindor and now Trea Turner, have been our bugaboo. We haven't really had an answer for those guys. 2-1 pitch, and Turner singles to left. Gosh, make it stop. RBI by Turner, 12 for Philadelphia. But there is an illness that's kind of going around, certain teams. Some people may say it's a cold or flu, but COVID is still floating around. It's just not something that the media talks about. And again, Naylor got sick a few games back, and he hasn't been the same since. So Bottom of the 8th, runners at first and second with 2 outs, 12-4 Philadelphia. Next up is Kyle Schwarber. First pitch from Jackson Kowar to Schwarber, high and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes the strike swinging low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Schwarber. One pitch, high and away, 2 balls and 1 strike from Kowar to Schwarber. Shows you how important really bullpen pitching is. You're going to lose more games throughout the year with your bullpen, than even starting pitching. Starting pitching, depending on who you are. Obviously, you got to have some guys that can get some dubs for you. Look at Skeens, the season that he's had this year. Absolutely no run support, and most of his games, his ERA is low, and he can get a bunch of Ks, but he doesn't get anybody to get any fucking RBIs or home runs. And, imagine if Skeens was on the Tigers, on how many more wins he would have and how many more accolades he'd be able to rack up. So, you got to be able to have a team. It's not an individual sport. It's definitely a team sport. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber. 3-2 pitch, and that is low and at the knees, and that is a walk. Holy hell, bases loaded. Logan Gilbert, Bootios, right? Legomina, Bootios. Jackson Kowar, Bootios. How many Bootio pitchers are we going to have today? Christ. And then the one guy that actually did good is usually our worst guy, Carlos Vargas. Vargas pitched a gem today. A couple innings. He pitched 3 innings, right? Why couldn't we get some of these other guys? But again, it's just as much, the Mariners pitchers. It's this Philadelphia Philly team. They're World Series contenders. They're one of the best teams overall, not just in the National League. They are right there with the Dodgers, obviously, who have had an up and down season, who have been slumping after the All-Star break, and the Milwaukee Brewers. If you're at 71 wins or more, you're obviously one of the best. And look at the lineup. The Phillies team is almost identically the same for the last few years, with the exception of Kepler. All of the other guys have been on this team for a fucking long time. Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Realmuto, Bohm, Marsh, Castellanos, Stott. It's been the same team for years, and they have that chemistry, and it shows. First pitch to Bryce Harper, fouls it off, low and away, 0-1 count. Harper's already got fucking 2 home runs. Might as well get a grand salami here and make it 6-4. I don't want that to happen, but 0-1 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to Bryce Harper, who is having an electric game, obviously with 2 home runs already, and the bases loaded and 2 outs, being up 12-4. It could be 16-4 here in a heartbeat. I did see Rowdy Tellez. He ended up hitting Springer, with a pitch that was 30 to 50 miles an hour. He wasn't even trying to hit him, and they had a little laugh about it. And I saw Victor Robles get hit by Joey Estes last night. He's gotten plunked 5 times out of 15 at-bats, and he threw the bat back at the pitcher. So there probably will be some kind of suspension for Robles, but he's not a dirty player. We're trying to get him healthy to bring him back up. And Estes has been, targeting him for the last couple years. So I would have loved to see Robles knock him out, honestly. You have to understand the frustrations. Obviously throwing a bat is a no-no, but how many guys have been hit 5 times out of 15 at-bats, and a guy that's been targeting you for the last 3 years? Bad blood, at least on that other guy's end. All right, and that's out number 3. And somehow, some way, Bryce Harper doesn't hit a grand salami, thank God. And now we're only down 8. And they're going to bring in Hoffman for Orion Kirkering. Let's see if we have a chance to be able to get 1 more run before the game is over. Next up, first baseman in the 5-hole, 0 for 3 with a K, Josh Naylor, who hasn't been the same since his illness. Batting second, DHing in the 6th hole, Mitch Garver, who came up big with that big home run. And batting third, right fielder, Dominic Canzone, if that is right. I'm not sure if that is correct or not, but we'll find out here. Yeah, I saw the actual highlight that came up on my feed, when Griffey had the follow-through swing and let go of the bat. But when Victor threw it, he kind of, it was more from like the top rather than like, Griffey just kind of let go of the bat. Victor was like trying to aim, And obviously doing that is a no-no, but I understand. I think a lot of people would have reacted that same kind of way, And I went over some of the stats, with that on how he's been targeted. I've been looking shit up. So Robles hit by pitch by the A's twice on September 5th, 2024. One of them was by Joey Estes, who hit him yesterday. Robles hit by a pitch on the 12th. In AAA by Estes, and he got hit yesterday by Estes. So again, he's been hit 5 times in the last 15 plate appearances. So again, to be able, when's the last time you've heard of anybody hit 5 times in 15 at bats? Nobody. Zero. So, for him to get frustrated and want to fight and throw the bat, I totally get it. And he was even doing it when he was on the A's, Estes. So it's like this has been a thing that he's been targeting him for a while now. It's like I get it. Throwing the bat is not okay, but throwing at someone's chest and head is not okay either. And it seems like the pitchers kind of get more of the benefit of the doubt. But you can get a serious injury taking a 95 or 100 to the face, or the nose, or the eye, or the jaw, right, or the neck, or the chest, the wrist. You can have broken bones easy, right? Top of the 9th, 12-4, Philadelphia leads. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us try to get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and we're looking for 5 to 15 on the sub count. And Naylor finally getting out of a slump on the first pitch, and a beautiful double. And hopefully that'll be a sign of things to come in game number 2 and game number 3. Great job by Josh. And I feel that he's either got cold, flu, or COVID, but hell, great job there by Josh. Finally, something positive out of Naylor in the last 3 to 4 games for him. Nice job. Next up, DHing, the guy that got the party started for us, solo dinger, Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. First pitch from Hoffman to Garver, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver. Yeah, the sad thing reflects, as you know and I know, that Estes probably won't be disciplined, and it'll only be Robles with like a 3 to 4 game suspension, once he comes back to the Mariners. But, as long as we have him, I don't care. And then obviously, I hope we keep Dom on the roster too. I think he deserves, to still be on the team instead of going down to AAA. But, we'll have to figure out, who ends up going down. Dylan Moore, I hope. There's so many guys in AAA that we could use. 0-2 pitch, in play, Garver. Oh, baby, big hit into right, and Naylor scores, and I get my wish. We get to 5. Sometimes you got to talk it into existence. When things are going bad, you have to think of the most positive thing that could happen, even when you're getting your ass kicked. We were at 4. I wasn't greedy. I just want 1. Ask for 1, and then maybe you'll get more than 1. And here we go. We get Luke Raley making his debut after a long injury, and hopefully we get something good here out of Luke. Let's go, Luke. We missed you. It's that hustle. First pitch from Hoffman to Raley, low and at the knees with the curveball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. We need a nuke from Luke. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Luke Raley. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hoffman to Raley. Good to see Luke back out there, baby. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. I missed that hustle. And Raley coming in for Cantone after getting hit on the hand or wrist. I hope that he doesn't have a broken bone or anything of that nature. Hoffman on the mound, Raley in the box. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. 2-2 pitch, and takes strike 3 looking on the line, and that is 2 away. Yeah, we're going to need those. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. 1 for 3 with a K. 1 for 3 with a run and 2 Ks. Let's go, J.P. First pitch to J.P. Crawford. High and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Low and inside at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to J.P. Crawford. Top of the 9th with a runner at first and 1 out. We're down 7, 12-5. But again, we could be down 12-0 right now. So, great job by Mitch Garver. Great job by Cole Young. Great job by Mitch Garver again. And a big shout out to Carlos Vargas. Who would have thought that Vargas would have been the best pitcher today? Better than Gilbert, better than Legomina, better than Kowar. And obviously him being better than Legomina and Kowar isn't saying too much, but I don't think anyone anticipated Logan Gilbert giving up 6 runs in the first 2 innings. That definitely put us in a hole that we couldn't come back from. And then Legomina giving up 4 runs after we got 4 wasn't ideal either. I mean, the score could be 8-5 right now. Not that we would come back, but it would feel a little bit better. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Yeah, that might be the only thing that helps us, with everything that's been going on with us. At least they're getting their ass kicked and they're at 0s. Top of the 9th, 12-5 Philadelphia. And, hopefully it won't be like this in game 2 or game 3. We definitely need to try to still win at least a game. Winning back-to-back games probably isn't going to happen, but you never know. I mean, if the bats come alive and the pitching isn't so shitty, we'll have a chance. Top of the 9th, 12-5 Philadelphia. Runner at first with 1 out. Hoffman on the mound, J.P. Crawford in the box. 2-2 pitch. And here we go. Look at this. J.P. with a beautiful hit. And he gets a double to right. Garver to third. Beautiful. And again, most people may have turned the game off. But, for people like me and for a lot of you that are in the room that are still watching, it's about finding the bright spot in a shitty, dark situation, and trying to be able to find the best moments, and it helps build character. You can finally see who's still trying out there and who's not, and hopefully we can find a way for Cole Young. I mean, he already has a 1 3-run blast. I mean, what are the chances of him doing it again? Probably not likely, but he could get an RBI. And here we go, Cole Young, and grounds out to second, but Garver scores. Here we go. And that brings in another. 12-6 is better than 12-0. Nice job by Cole. 2 away. And Cole is playing much better within the last month. Nice job. It's a Cole world. Bye-bye. Trident's up. Next up is Randy Arozarena, who definitely has been overdue for a home run for ever since that Tampa Bay series where he didn't homer against his former team. First pitch to Randy, takes a strike looking, low and out the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and inside with the sinker and 94 miles an hour by Hoffman. 1 ball, 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. And we got more runs than anyone anticipated at this point late. Getting to 6 when you're, down 7-0 to actually fight back and get to 6. How many teams would be able to do that? Not very many. Maybe 5 out of 30. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Hoffman to Randy. And if we're lucky, maybe we can get Randy to get an RBI single to make it 12-7. But every single hit and every single home run and every single ribby. And here we go, Randy. Nice job. And again, we're going to lose this game, but again, great effort, late in the matchup with the wild pitch. And there it is. We bring in the runner from third, and now it's 12-7. Just imagine if we didn't give up 6 runs by Logan Gilbert. If he would have only given up, let's say 2 or 3, maybe the score is only like 9-7 right now or 8-7. Crazy. And then Rosarino with the walk. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. And if you're looking for a home run in garbage time, this would be the time to get it. 12-7 Philadelphia, but this team's got a lot of heart. We could be like the Astros and putting up back-to-back zeros, right? At least that's not us. We're better than them this year, and they know it too. Top of the ninth, 12-7 Philadelphia. They are a World Series contending team, and it shows. But this Mariner team has got a lot of heart. I mean, if this was last year or the year before or the year before that, we probably would be at 0. So to get to 7, that's really saying a lot. Top of the ninth, runner at first with 2 outs, 12-7 Philadelphia. And again, if we can get a Cal Raleigh RBI or home run, that would be insane. And JP Crawford coming in for that next run. We love it, baby. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, fouls it off high and away, 0-1 count. And obviously, if Cal hits a home run here, that'll be number 48, tying Salvador Perez for the all-time lead, for home runs by a catcher in a full season. And we still got quite a few games to go, so Cal's going to break the record. Oh, 1 pitch, and fielders indifference, and Rosarino to second. Lots of momentum here late for the Mariners in a game that we shouldn't have put up this many runs, but I'm proud of this team, man. Got to go through those peaks and valleys, ups and the downs. 1-1 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hoffman to Raleigh. It's just that, everyone is, anticipating the pitching to be as good as it was in years past. But you have to also remember, we were one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, and we were like the number 1 strikeout team for years. And now, instead of, as a team, batting 180 to 220, now we're batting 240 to 250. But unfortunately, the pitching has not been as good, starting or bullpen, and we've had injuries on top of that. So you have to understand, some things are going to get better, but also other things are going to get worse. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper at Cal Raleigh. Top of the ninth with a runner at second and 2 outs, and we're just hoping for a magic big 2-run blast by Cal to get us to 12-9. Not to come back and win, but just for his stats. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and that is the game. We were hoping for a little magic there for Cal, but he might be able to home run, and break that record at some point and tie the record tomorrow. But good try there by Cal. Final score, Phillies 12, Mariners 7. But again, if you were watching this game from the very beginning, Logan Gilbert gave up 6 runs in the first 2 innings, and we could have lost 12-0. So to get to 7, that shows a lot of heart from this Mariner 2025 team. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Shout out to Legend and David for helping out on the Don't Know train. And again, hopefully things will be a little bit better tomorrow as well as Wednesday. And I'll be live again, same time, same place, 3:45 Pacific. And then on Wednesday, it's an early matchup around, I believe, at like 10 a.m. Pacific time. So it'll be a little early, but hopefully we can get the job done. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Phillies 12, Mariners 7. Tridents up, and I'm out. Go M's.